Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So this one was actually sent in by Sarmatian, this community cast. So thanks for sending the replay in, and we'll talk about it. So here, front line of Dryads, Eternal Guard without the shields, and more Dryads. He's also got 5 Arc Elders. I think the 5 Arc Elders are a great shout against basically any faction that could bring Law of Fire. It's very useful. That fire resistance, like aura that he gives, is just so useful. It is pretty great. And frankly, these guys hold out for so long. They are so hard to kill. They just refuse to give up. So that's pretty great. Really good anchor for your front line, especially with the extra, fire resistance buff there. Really cool. Also, a couple of units of Azrai Spears. These guys will just chew through anything large. I mean, they're just great. They've got really good combat stats. They've got anti-large and armor piercing. Very formidable. Very formidable indeed. And they do have dodge as well, so that's some missile resist, isn't it, the dodge? So that's interesting. Also, you can see Glade Lord, pretty great. I love the Glade Lord. She's awesome. Just Prey of Anathrema is such a great utility spell. Well, ability, I suppose. And yeah, the ranged attacks, and she does have 70 charge bonus, so she's always going to hit. If she sees something weak, she can just dive down and kill it. Really good utility lord, and very quick, very hard to catch out on the eagle, so pretty damn cool. So I really like the Glade Lord, and yeah, very quick, so you can get anywhere, so it's really cool. And escape anything as well, if it's Malekith on a dragon, good luck chasing her, so pretty cool. Also, over here you can see a ton of Deepwood Scouts, 4 units, all with Swift Shiver Shards. I think the plan here, with all the magic damage, is basically if there was a very sort of Hellebron-themed army, with all the Witch Elves and the Sisters of Slaughter, things like that, and like Death Hag giving physical resist to stuff, or any unit with Guardian as well. There's plenty of things that are giving physical resist in a Dark Elf roster, potentially at least. So having the magic attacks is pretty cool. Obviously these guys are cheaper than the the Way Watchers, but, they're still great. They don't have the armor piercing, but they're still very formidable. But against armored stuff, you're going to struggle a bit. But these guys are probably the coolest bodyguard. This is such a good idea. These guys also stalk. So they're not going to get seen either. So you're not going to give away the position of the Deepwood Scouts, but you get to protect them with something really formidable. And they have armor sundering. So if they can catch something out, they can sunder the armor, and then this stuff gets to get more damage in, because less of their damage is going to get negated, So it's huge. I love this. This is such a good idea. I really wish I'd thought of it. Absolutely superb. So I love this. And they're anti-large, anti-armor themselves. So they're just really formidable. They can do a lot of damage to stuff. So pretty damn cool. I really like the synergy between this stuff. It's really clever. So really like that. So, Dark Elves. As you can see, Dark Riders, Dark Riders, Dark Riders, Dark Riders, Cold One Knights, Cold One Knights, a chariot, another chariot, a lot of mobility, which is something you really need against Wood Elves that tend to do this kind of thing. So you got to watch out for that. So the more maneuverability you have, the better. Also, all of the front line is all very cheap. He's gone quite wide. The most expensive thing here is the Black Ark Corsairs, but everything else is Dread Spears and Bleak Swords that all have impeccable shields. They've all got silver shields. So they're going to negate a lot of missile damage, going to get a lot of work done, and just very affordable, very wide, can pin stuff in place and let the cavalry do the work. So I really like that. Malekith on a cold one, not as big a target, is on a dragon and a lot cheaper. So pretty cool, pretty useful. You really don't want him on a dragon because he's just going to get Prey of Anathrema shot to pieces. But on a cold one, he's pretty maneuverable, got some great armor piercing, so he'll be able to fight trees and all sorts, and a lot of good spells. Very good spells with dark magic, so he's going to be very useful. So I like that. Also, some more Dread Spears here, guarding the Reaper Bolt Thrower. Reaper Bolt Thrower, I think, is a great pick. On single shot, you can get some good damage into big trees, things like that. But the Scatter Shot is really useful in this matchup, because frankly, Wood Elves are a bit squishy. So they're going to get a Scatter Shot. Anytime this stuff is revealed, anytime all these stalking units poke their head out, they're going to be able to be in range, so the Reaper Bolt Thrower is going to be able to capitalise and get some damage in before they get to disappear again. So as soon as these guys start firing, the Reaper Bolt Thrower can reach them, which is really useful. The Scatter Shot won't get many kills, but once you start lowering their health pools, any charge from cavalry, even, just Dark Riders, is going to kill a ton of models on the charge, because their health will be lowered. So that's really good. So having something that can just reach anywhere you need to reach, just immediately react to things, really useful. So I really like the Reaper Bolt Thrower here. So we are going to speed things up. Kind of forgot about the War Dancers over here, which is a little bit unusual. But I mean, the only things that are going to pressure them are cavalry, and I guess they'll just be able to kill any cavalry that tries to attack them, so I guess they'll just sit here for now. That's fine. So here you can see Deepwood Scouts, they have been spotted. And so now, Reaper Bolt Thrower is just reacting to that. Just going to start shooting into them. You can see, no loss of models, but their health is going down. So the health is dropping here. So you don't want that. So pretty cool. I really like that. Reaper Bolt Thrower, very useful. And all this, maneuverability, it's going to be very scary, because this front line is not very big. So they're getting into the trees, which is probably wise. Here, an Earth Blood to keep their health up, so that way they won't lose any models, because you want to keep these guys going, at least until they can start firing at something, because as soon as you start losing models, they're going to do less damage each volley. So here, you can see, brilliant move by Sarmatian. These guys are not faced forward, so they're not getting the benefit of their shields. So since they're not getting the benefit of their shields, whittle away at them while you can. And here, quickly change targets, because these guys went, oh, quick, shields at the ready, and so he's going for the next unit. He's going to keep doing that, keep trying to take pot shots on things that don't have their shields. So, very clever. So here again, this unit was really caught out. And yeah, that is a huge amount of damage. Huge amount. So that's great. So whittling away at the front line is worthwhile. It means your front line can survive the onslaught a bit better. And you're going to have more stuff to defend your ranged units, basically. So it's not a bad shout trying to whittle away at some of this stuff. Especially when you're getting this much damage per volley. I mean, it's not really chipping to their ammo too much, but it's pretty worthwhile, limiting these guys' ability to stay in a fight for long. You get that much damage and they're not going to hang around for too long. But here you can see cavalry is moving all around. They're enveloping every area. There's just going to be cavalry everywhere surrounding this place. But in the trees, Wood Elves definitely have the advantage. The cavalry's not going to fight as well amongst the trees, so that's pretty useful. So here, I'm starting to lose a couple models. Literally only a couple, though. So that's pretty crazy. So here, more shots into this stuff. The infantry is getting really whittled down. But of course, things like the chariots and the cavalry are still super dangerous. But this one is in range. So you'll see he will just basically take the opportunity to get rid of these dark shards. So you'll see he's going to get a nice volley into here. Oh, apparently one last volley over there, but that's fine. So he's going to start shooting into these dark shards, get rid of them nice and early. They don't have shields, and they're side on anyway, so pretty good just to whittle these guys away as they're all getting to position. Azrai Spears still just sat around for some reason. So over here, stuff will eventually come in. Now here, this would have been a great target, the Corsairs, for the Swift Shiver Shards, but they're quite far away. They're on the opposite side of the engagement. These would have been great to get rid of, because these are going to be the most... They've got the most killing power in the front line, basically. So over here, Wardens of Scythe Roll, still great bodyguard unit for these guys. So very useful, and now the cavalry had actually pulled back to avoid getting shot at. The front line's going to engage. It is taking a ton of damage. Just a huge amount of damage. So these spears getting shot in the side, it's really going to hurt. So here, Azrai Spears really want to be on Cav, but the front line's too wide. Which is a great thing with the Dark Elf front line here, is he went very cheap and very wide, so he can get in all different positions. So the chariots are charging in to start getting some work done. So that's a bit of a nuisance. And here, I'm not sure if he could actually see the Wardens of Scythe Roll or not. But they were all just charging straight in. So that's pretty great for the Wardens of Scythe Roll. They're going to be able to just mince through all of these Dark Riders. So, and they're all just Dark Riders. They're pretty flimsy, You really want to just split them off. If you want to charge one unit into the Wardens of Scythe Roll just to pin them in place so they can't chase the rest, fine. But here, lovely Soul Stealer. That's going to do a ton of damage. But, of course, he's not going to get any health back because he's already got full health. So that's a bit of a pity. So all that stuff's been chased off. And the Cold One Knights are now probing further places. The Azrai Spears are now coming in, so more anti-large. These guys finally woke up from their nap over there. But here you're going to see that Malekith is going to be fighting this Branch Wraith, and he can duel a Branch Wraith, no problem. Branch Wraith's a lot more, a lot more resilient than Spell Singers, but against someone as capable as Malekith, that's not going to end well. But here, they've managed to break into the back. Unfortunately, the Spearman chased a little bit too much. This is a beautiful, beautiful baiting move. The Cold One charge in, move back, and everything charges in the back. So yeah, not as effective in the trees, but they're still going to keep on top of these guys. And with this chill wind, all of these ranged units are going to get slowed down, and the cavalry are going to be able to capitalise really well. So here, the Firebark Elders, just with their mass, they're going to be a great blockade to let this stuff escape, if he can get on top of them quickly. But they're pretty slow. You look at them plodding along. Anyway, he's going to try and get on top of this cavalry. The Glade Lord is trying to hold this stuff back. And an Earth Blood went down on this stuff to try and keep some of this stuff alive. But you can see here, these Dark Riders are just not letting up. They're just going to keep chasing that stuff till it shatters. So over here, another really good Gaze of Malice does a ton of damage to the very low armoured War Dancers. And now more cavalry are starting to flood in. And if we look at the front line engagement, the front line is gone. It is absolutely toast. So that is really bad. That is really not good. So some Swift Shiver Shards still managing to fire at things. A lovely Chill Wind that's actually going to do some good damage. on this stuff because of the low armor. So that's pretty great. But Malekith is getting really beaten up in here. You know, he doesn't want to be fighting armor-piercing anti-large stuff. So Dark Riders charge in to try and help. So these guys need to pull back out. And unfortunately, all these Swift Shiver Shards are just getting polished off one at a time. It's pretty grim. They're getting absolutely butchered with plenty of ammo left. Huge amount of ammo left. You see the chariots are chasing through them all as well. But the Firebark Elders now are pinning a load of stuff in place, and they're not going anywhere. Even against the anti-large armor-piercing stuff, they've got enough physical resist and enough health to still shrug a lot of that damage off. So you'll see, they will stay there for hours. So over here, this pocket is just really tough. The Branch Wraith did get chased off, but you know, wasn't able to keep chasing. So he came back. And that's really what you don't want to happen. So over here you can see the Glade Lord did actually have a little dive on top of Malekith to try and break him. And she's going to try and do the same thing again. Pray of Anathema, so he can't keep bobbing and weaving. Because that's the annoying thing with flying units. Sometimes they'll just end up running around in circles because they can't quite grab the person they're chasing. So, bit of a nuisance, but Malekith is getting absolutely dealt with. These guys, they're lining up again, so they're going to try and get on top of these Dread Spears to wipe them out, because they'll be able to wipe them out pretty quickly. I know it's all anti-large, but they're all very capable units. So they're going to get on top of these Dread Spears, and unfortunately, there's a load of units coming back from the other engagements that are starting to come in here and deal with this stuff. Over in the back, some Deepwood Scouts did come back, so that's something at least. So here we've got some chariots, over there. It's a lot of chariots, and frankly, although this stuff is all anti-large, none of it has a lot of mass. So chariots charging through is really going to hurt. So also the Reaper Bolt Thrower is still firing into this blob. Seems to be aiming for the Glade Lord, I believe, because it's on single shot. So I think that's going for the Glade Lord, and you don't want that. So she's going to try and get out of there. Dread Spears did break, so now this stuff isn't fighting on two fronts, which is hugely beneficial to them. But we'll see the Branch Wraith is just going to keep spamming Earthblood on this stuff. It's going to keep all of this stuff's health up. And frankly, they're still on pretty high model counts. You know, they're taking a lot of damage, but they haven't lost a lot of models. Unfortunately, these Cold One Chariots are very formidable. They're going to get some good work done if they just keep charging in and out of this stuff. So, oof. And, okay, some very, very capable bolt throw shots here. So the Glady, quick enough just to run over here, deal with that, and come back, which is pretty great. So, another Earthblood. And amazingly, these Firebark Elders are still holding out against all of these Cold One Knights that really should be able to deal with these guys better than this. So it's pretty crazy. These guys, they don't get a lot of killing done. I mean, they've got, what, 26 kills? It's nothing. But they don't die. That's their one job, just to not die. It's keeping so much of the army wrapped up, which is pretty damn cool. So here, when I was watching this replay the first time, I thought, God, gotta pray of Anathema this guy, or the chariot's just going to kill everything. And there it goes. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful move there. Because once the chariots stop moving, they just get torn to pieces. There's nothing they can do about it. They just get completely dumpstered. Look at this. Just torn to shreds. There goes two of the chariots, and the Glady's going to come in and finish off the last one. And boom. Which is huge. And with that, balance of power is really starting to shift in favour of the Wood Elves. It was looking pretty ropey for a while, but this pocket of resistance is so tough. And unfortunately, the frontline units, being as cheap as they are, they needed to keep Malekith going. They needed the spells to be able to keep hitting this stuff to do the damage. And he just couldn't do it. You know, Malekith got caught out, and I think that's what lost it, honestly. So, real pity there. Yeah, you done? You done, game? Can we look at the end screen now? Please? Buddy? There we go. There we go. Alright, so let's look at the end screen. That was pretty great. I absolutely loved that battle. Some great tactics on both sides there. I think with all the cav, slightly mismicroed in places. I think that's what cost Hubert J. Fonsworth the match. But the build is really good against Wood Elves. I really like this. It's really capable. You know, having all of the a lot of this stuff has dual purpose, you know. So you've got the armor piercing to deal with trees with the Cold War Knights, but also maneuverability to deal with skirmishers. You know, the chariots, they've got good ranged attacks, very good damage on those things, actually, the ranged attacks. So they can just probe at things for a while if it's a very melee-focused sort of tree build. If there are war dancers, you can run straight through them. They're also really good at just harassing skirmishers as well. The Reaper Bolt Thrower can just do what it wants, right? It can just pick targets, because it has the range. It won't do a lot of damage, but that'll add up a lot. And with Wood Elves being pretty squishy, it's going to perform pretty well, you know? It did a lot of damage, like a heck of a lot of damage to the Swift Shiver Shards. It wasn't killing a lot of models, but a lot of Earthbloods was spent trying to keep these guys' health up, so they didn't. And so that's really useful too. And if there were trees, it could have also got some good value out of it. And a dragon, actually. You could probably pick away at a dragon pretty well. So, Reaper Bolt Thrower, pretty damn cool. The Dark Riders, I mean, just having something cheap and maneuverable, these guys can take out skirmishers in melee, they'll do fine. And then having so much stuff with shields, again, this just really helps negate the skirmish game, which I really like. But on this side, having the Wardens of Scythe Roll as a bodyguard for these guys is just perfect. With Stalk, if you give the orders to attack from a distance, you're not going to see these guys. And you're going to run straight into the anti-large of the Wardens of Scythe Roll. They're going to do a fantastic job. I mean, 93 kills is pretty damn good. A lot of that was cavalry. You know, the Azrai Spears are a classic. They're just very capable anti-large. So very useful. And you've got to bring a lot of anti-large. As the Wood Elves against the Dark Elves, because the Dark Elves have got to bring a lot of large stuff to chase down your ranged units. So this worked out pretty well. Also, the Dryads and the Eternal Guard, they got pretty butchered, but against things like Witch Elves and stuff, you know, the magic damage helps a bit. They can hold the stuff down for a little while, and that's all they really need to do. It's pretty cheap front line. Firebark Elders, they just outright refuse to die. I think they lost a single model, which is just crazy. These guys are so stubborn, and giving that fire, you know, resistance aura is huge. Obviously it didn't come into play in this battle, but the fact that they stay alive that long is unbelievable. You know, if they were able to stay alive with the front line and fire spells being dropped on things, you know, it would have helped a heck of a lot. Also, Branch Wraith just being, you know, something a bit more resilient than a Spell Singer really helps. You get your Mystifying Miasma and your Earth Blood, so a load of utility from the Branch Wraith as well as the attack buffs, which is great, so you can shut things down quicker. Because when you've got a glass cannon army, you really want to make sure stuff dies quickly. You don't want to be taking hits, so stuff can be killed quicker. You're not going to get killed yourself because, you know, your opponent's dead. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, really. Also, Glade Lore, great utility. There's some great plays on both these sides. I really love the builds. And but yeah, I think Sarmatian just able, you know, being able to just get the forests. It really limited visibility. It made it very difficult to choose those engagements for his opponent there. So it was really tough. And yeah, Malekith's been caught out the way he was. That was a bit brutal. That was a real pity. That could have gone very differently, I think, if Malekith had stayed alive. So pretty damn cool. So really cool fight. So guys, obviously if you got, you know, some decent replays to show me, feel free to email them to JanetOnOccasion@gmail.com. I've been getting quite a few lately, so sorry if I don't get around to doing all of them. I'm having to be a bit more picky now. I've got a bit more attention lately, but I thought I'd mention it. If you got a cool replay, let me know. Obviously, tell me a bit about it in the email, or if you find me on Discord, you can also do the same. But yeah, let me know a little bit about it. So you know, what your thought process was for the build or something, so I can, you know, talk about your thoughts. Because it's nice to know what the person was thinking when they were, you know, building these armies. So yeah, so let me know, guys. If you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.